Part 103. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 1029. In the corner of a certain forest. Hateful. Those two alien players, haha, I remember them. The wizard who had successfully escaped looked indignant at this moment. At this time, the wizard no longer looked like an old woman in her 70s or 80s, but suddenly became dozens of years younger. It was originally a seamless plan. As long as she stews the fat man, she can complete the main mission at this stage. The professional talents of this round of dungeons will be within reach. Unexpectedly, Sutinyu destroyed it just a little bit. It's better to quickly find another mission target. As for those two players, if they meet again in this round of copies, she will definitely not let them go. This time, it was just her carelessness. Wait a minute, the identities of the two players are, one is a coachman, and the other. She holds a long sword in her hand and is dressed smartly. If you ignore that she is just a short girl with short legs, this standard outfit feels a bit like the image of a prince or a knight in a fairy tale. The sword in Sutinyu's hand happened to have the power to restrain magic, which made her identity as a wizard useless. Looking at the two of them, they seem to be going somewhere. What if the identity of that little girl is really a prince, or a knight, or something like that? According to the general routine of fairy tales, the prince must save the princess. Are there any princesses in danger around here? After thinking of this, the wizard set off immediately. She went to the nearest city, found a tavern with a lot of people, and sat inside to inquire about the news. At this time, after several days of fermentation, people all over the country knew about the appearance of the warrior. And, that warrior is heading to the dragon's lair. So much so that in the past few days, people have been discussing this matter enthusiastically in the streets and alleys. It's been so many days, but I don't know what the situation is like over there, Lord Warrior. Don't worry. With your strength as a warrior, you can definitely kill the hateful dragon and save the princess. Yes, we are just waiting for the good news from Lord Warrior. In the corner, a sinister smile appeared on the wizard's lips. It turns out that the little girl's identity is some kind of warrior, and she still wants to kill the dragon and save the princess. If nothing else, this should be Sutinyu's main mission. An idea suddenly came to the wizard's mind. If someone kills the dragon and rescues the princess first, wouldn't the main mission of the little girl movie fail? Or, just kill the princess, leaving the little girl with no princess to save. The more the wizard thought about it, the more he felt that this plan was feasible. However, before that, you have to complete your main mission at this stage, and then slowly target that little girl. At this time, Sutinyu, who had no idea at all, could only think about what the fat man said, if the princess were a man. As soon as Sutinyu thought about a big man wearing a fluffy princess dress, crying for help from her, she suddenly got goosebumps all over her body. No, no. The princess must be a female. It's impossible that even the king of the Starlight Kingdom would have mistaken the genders of men and women. Sutinyu's status as a prince was obtained halfway after he entered. This dungeon world is relatively normal, and NPCs don't have men and women swapping identities. So, nothing wrong. The delicate and soft princess must be a girl. On the way, Fatty introduced to Sutinyu the specific route to the evil dragon's lair. The dragon's lair is an island in the sea. That island is called Black Wind Island. Starting from 10,000 Snakes Valley and arriving at Black Wind Island, there are several places that must be passed. The first one, Death Swamp. As the name suggests, most of the bones of everyone who accidentally steps into the Death Swamp every year are buried under the swamp and cannot be recovered. The second one is the Rilaha Desert. The weather there, with high temperatures during the day and low temperatures at night, changes from hot to cold, which is very torturous. In addition, there is also a species called poisonous sand scorpions living in the desert. An adult scorpion is as big as a baby's head, and its tail is 3 bodies long. The venom of this scorpion is very strong. If you are stung lightly, you will feel a very obvious headache and nausea within 10 steps. Within 20 steps, they will fall to the ground and die. This kind of scorpion is very good at hiding under the sand, quietly approaching its prey, and killing it with one final blow. After passing through the desert and over the mountains, you will see a sea. The name of the sea is the Inanimate Sea. The weather at sea is very bad, with wind, thunder and rain 22 hours a day, 24 hours a day. Even the largest and toughest ships are in danger of sinking. In addition, there are many ferocious marine creatures in the sea area. If you accidentally fall into the sea, you will be surrounded by a group of marine animals within half an hour. When you are exhausted, if you have not left the sea, you will only become the food in the bellies of those marine animals. After going through many obstacles, he was able to reach the Black Wind Island where the evil dragon was. After traveling for a day and a night, Sutingyu and the two finally approached the Death Swamp. In the Death Swamp, let alone a carriage, even walking on 2 legs is very difficult. If you are not careful, you will fall deep into the swamp. Boss, what should we do now? Fatty's main mission is to send the warrior to the dragon's lair in order to be considered as completing this stage of the main mission. If he just stopped in the Death Swamp, then Fatty's main mission would definitely be judged as a failure. Sutingyu took a look and said, since the carriage can't go, let's just fly there. Lulu, get up and work. Sutingyu called out Lucifer, you take Fatty and fly over. Lucifer glanced at the fat man and nodded, okay. The fat man was confused at first. I didn't expect that Sutingyu would not take the usual path. Boss, that carriage. Sutingyu waved her hand directly, and the carriage was put into the storage ring. As for the white horse pulling the cart, Sutingyu let 2 small broken flowers come out and wrapped the white horse with vines. Sutingyu held the other side of the vines himself. That's good, Sutingyu chuckled. Lucifer changed back to his original shape, then directly picked up the fat man and flew into the sky. A pair of wings appeared on Sutingyu's back, and he took off directly. The vines he held in his hands also took off with the white horse. Just like that, the 2 of them flew in the sky above the Death Swamp. The fat man was a little uncomfortable at first, but slowly, his eyes were attracted by the scenery below. Regardless of the danger of the Death Swamp itself, looking down from a high altitude, the scenery is quite good. After successfully passing through the Death Swamp, Sutingyu and the 2 continued to ride in the carriage and rushed to the dragon's lair. Lucifer did not go in, but hid in the carriage and caught up on the show with his tablet. As for why it came out, it was because he had just bargained with Sutingyu and helped Fatty pass through the swamp of death, so he asked to watch the show. What else could Sutingyu do? I can only agree. However, Lulu turned out to be bad at learning and was able to bargain. Sutingyu vaguely felt a little heartache. Damn it! The labor force that was originally free became valuable. Another day passed. Sutingyu and the 2 came to Rilaha Desert. The fat man applied some anti-insect medicine to the outside of the carriage, especially the wheels and the horse's hooves. The horse pulling the cart is a key target of protection. Sutingyu stayed in the carriage and Lucifer each had a popsicle. By the way, he also gave an ice cream to the fat man driving outside. This is delicious, what is this? Lucifer tried the taste of popsicles for the first time. The ice-cold feeling melted in the mouth and turned into liquid. It felt like iced juice. Sutingyu knew that Lucifer liked drinks very much, so he told him directly that it was made from iced drinks. Lucifer blinked his golden eyes, more. So Sutingyu gave him a box of ice cream. Boss. Several poisonous scorpions have climbed onto the carriage. Suddenly, the fat man outside shouted. When Sutingyu heard this, he immediately came out to check. Boss, be careful. As soon as Sutingyu came out, A poisonous scorpion flew out in front of her. The tail needle, which was shining brightly in the sun, was still facing her face. Holy shit! Sutingyu reacted quickly and pulled out a dagger, using the blade of the dagger to pull the scorpion out of the plane. With a pop sound, the scorpion fell into the sand, its body sank into the sand and disappeared. Sutingyu only glanced at it and then withdrew his gaze. Because now there is more than one scorpion crawling up from the bottom of the carriage. The medicine originally applied to the carriage didn't work anymore. Or maybe, the medicine is no longer effective. Sutingyu took out several bottles of magic potion, pulled out the stopper, and installed a shower-like nozzle. It was used as a spray and sprayed the potion toward the bottom of the carriage. In the sprayed area, the scorpions that crawled over all fled away. Sutingyu threw 2 bottles of spray to Fatty, took the remaining 2 bottles and sprayed them everywhere, especially where there were scorpions. In the end, there was really no place for the scorpions to crawl, so the scorpions fell directly into the sand like dumplings. Sutingyu focused on spraying the wheels of the carriage and the horses pulling the carriage. Gradually, there were no more scorpions coming up again. Sutingyu breathed a sigh of relief. However, you can't completely relax yet. Sutingyu took out another magic potion. This magic potion is somewhat different from ordinary liquid magic potions. It is more like an oil. Sutingyu smeared it on the outside of the carriage. Even if the sun shone, it did not evaporate as quickly as spray water. It was like a piece of oil stain, firmly stuck to the carriage. At this time, the smell of potion emanating from the carriage made all the scorpions on the sand avoid it. After half an hour or an hour, Sutingyu would check again whether the potions outside the carriage had evaporated. If there was any, Sutingyu used new potion and smeared it on the carriage. Sutingyu asked, "Fat man, how long will it take to get out of the desert?" The fat man made an estimate, probably, at normal speed, it will take more than 10 hours. "Fat man, hold on tight," Sutingyu warned, and then used a magic wand to cast an acceleration spell on the white horse pulling the cart. At the same time, Sutingyu cast a solidifying magic on the carriage itself. The white horse with the magic of acceleration is like taking a stimulant drug, just running like a child and having a great time. The pulled carriage made a ton-ton sound. Fortunately, the solidification magic was applied to prevent it from falling apart. But the fat man was shaken and staggered. "Big boss." Seeing this, Sutingyu cast an extra wooden man's magic on the fat man's butt. The next second, the fat man's butt seemed to be stuck with some strong glue, and he was not afraid of falling over. The journey of more than 10 hours was reduced by Sutingyu to 3 hours, and he passed through the Rilaha desert safely. After the desert, there are rolling mountains. It is also because of the mountains that they block the water vapor from the ocean, which is one of the factors that leads to the emergence of deserts. Sutingyu and the two found a place to rest. Especially Hakuba, who had no acceleration magic of his own, was almost exhausted. Sutingyu gave Bema 2 bottles of low-level magic potion to replenish energy, and the situation improved a lot. There is still a stretch of road ahead that requires a carriage, and Sutingyu also has to take into account the condition of the white horse. After resting for 3 hours, Sutingyu and the others continued to set off. After crossing the rolling mountains, there is an open plain on the other side. There was no need to encounter any emergencies along the way, and we soon arrived at the beach. Carriages cannot travel on the sea. Looking for a boat now is a waste of time, and the boat is unreliable. Maybe it would just sink if it was left open. "Fat man, you come and determine the location, we will fly directly there." Sutingyu chose to repeat his old trick. Therefore, Sutingyu paid the price of 5 more boxes of ice cream and called Lucifer for help. "Okay, boss." The fat man held a compass in his hand to identify the direction. After preparing for a while, the two of them took off again. On the lifeless sea, the waves are rough. Although flying all the way there can avoid the difficulties of sailing a boat at sea. Even if it is windy or rainy, it will still be affected. Both of them put on raincoats, hats with wide brim and goggles to protect them from the rain. Boom! The sky over the sea was covered with dark clouds and thunder and lightning. Sutingyu always flew low to avoid being struck by lightning. Just in case, Sutingyu gave herself and Fatty a magical potion that temporarily resisted lightning. Even if they were hit, they wouldn't be instantly defeated. Moreover, there are many defensive props for protection. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 1030. Ah! Great God of Darkness, I am your most loyal servant. I will offer you a sacrifice. Please wake up in the endless darkness. The wizard knelt on an altar painted with strange runes. In the center of the altar, there was a large pot with white meat foam floating on it. After the wizard prayed over and over again, the runes on the altar lit up with a flash of black and purple lightning. Then, as if the cauldron had been swallowed up by the entire altar, it sank directly into the altar and disappeared without a trace. At the same time, the wizard's panel popped up. Main mission: find the heart of the evil dragon and resurrect it to the great god of darkness, to be refreshed. Dragon. There was a moment of astonishment on the wizard's face. But soon, he seemed to have thought of something and let out a sinister laugh. Evil dragon, okay. Just right. The wizard knelt down towards the altar again and muttered, Great God of Darkness, please grant me the power of space transfer to go to the evil dragon's lair, Black Wind Island. The two alien players have been away for so long. If I chase them on my own two legs, I will definitely not be able to catch up. Then, we can only use some extraordinary means. On the altar, the black-purple light that had dimmed resurfaced again. When the wizard saw this scene, his face was overjoyed. Then, his entire body was enveloped in light. When the light disappeared, the wizard's figure also disappeared. In the blink of an eye, when the wizard's eyes returned to clarity, he found that he was no longer on the altar, but at a seaside. This is an island. This should be the Black Wind Island where the evil dragon lives. The wizard raised his hand and touched his chin. Originally, the wizard wanted to target the two alien players. Therefore, I also knew about the evil dragon's lair beforehand. Ha! That god of darkness is really powerful. According to the speed of the normal carriage, the two alien players should not have reached Black Wind Island yet. As long as he kills the evil dragon in advance and rescues the princess, the two alien players won't have anything to do with him. Maybe, in this round of copies, I can marry a beautiful princess. Isn't this the case in fairy tales? Whoever saves the princess will marry him. When he thought of this, the wizard raised his hand and wiped his face. In the next second, the wizard's entire face changed. From a middle-aged ant, she turned into a handsome young man. The gloomy cloak on his body also disappeared, replaced by something exactly like Sutingyu's. Because what Sutingyu was originally wearing was the prince's standard outfit. The wizard now directly plagiarizes it and uses it. Ha ha ha, my dear princess, I'm here to save you. The wizard rubbed his hands and laughed. However, there was a bit more vulgarity in this laughter, which brought down the originally handsome face by several levels. He looked like a gangster who wanted to play gangster. At this time, Sutingyu, who was still on the sea, had no idea that someone was trying to replace her as a prince, and he also wanted to get in front of her and play a heroic role to save the beauty. The environment at sea was very harsh, but Sutingyu was fully prepared. The whole process of crossing the sea was a smooth one. But, it's just the poor little white horse who is going to suffer. In just a few days, I experienced the feeling of flying twice in a row. From shock and panic at the beginning, to now lying flat and numb. After 3 days of separation, you should look at each other with admiration. It is no longer the ordinary white horse it was. When Sutinyu successfully arrived at Black Wind Island, the sky had darkened slightly, around 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. Sutinyu first found a secret and safe place and placed the carriage and white horse. After all, a carriage is indispensable on the way back. The soil here on Batu Island is all black. Moreover, the terrain is mostly mountainous and plateau terrain, which is very troublesome to walk on. However, if you want to find the specific location of the evil dragon's lair, it is very simple. The dragon's lair is at the highest point on the island. In the center of the island, there is a mountain with the highest altitude. Even if Sutinyu looked up from below, he could vaguely see some buildings. It is said that 200 years ago, the evil dragon went out to capture a group of humans who could build castles. Therefore, there are such human-style buildings on the island. To build a castle that satisfies the dragon, if you have people, you also need materials. So, the dragon made an agreement with the nearest kingdom. The kingdom provides the materials, and the evil dragon will not harass that country and its people for 100 years after the construction of the castle begins. Because that country is closest to the Black Wind Island where the evil dragon is located, and it is also the country that is most frequently harassed by the evil dragon. There is nothing they can do against the evil dragon. When he learned that the evil dragon would put forward such a condition, he knew that after the construction of the castle was completed, it would be impossible for the evil dragon to abide by the agreement. However, there is no way around it. If you can maintain peace for a while, you can maintain peace for a while. The king of that country agreed. 50 years later, construction on the castle was completed. The evil dragon brutally killed all the workers. Although the 100-year deadline has not yet been reached, the evil dragon still tore up the treaty he had made and began to harass the country that originally provided the materials. Although the workers who originally built the castle were killed by the evil dragon, the drawings of the castle were secretly circulated. It was the country that transported the materials that secretly sent people to transfer it from the hands of the workers. The workers set up a secret passage inside the castle, which allowed people from outside to sneak into the castle silently. And this secret passage has not been exposed for 200 years. Even when the princess was first taken away, she remained patient and secretly said, "Because there is no complete certainty that the evil dragon can be completely eliminated. If the secret passage is exposed in advance, then there will be one less trump card and the evil dragon will be angered." But now Lord Warrior appears. Several kings from the fairy tale world placed their hopes on Sutinyu, and they also informed Sutinyu of the secret passages in the castle. In the castle, the wizard searched everywhere secretly, but it was so quiet inside that not even the shadow of the evil dragon could be seen. "It's strange, why didn't you see the dragon? Is it possible that the evil dragon is not in the castle now? If the dragon is really gone, now is a good time to rescue the princess." When the wizard thought of this possibility, a smile appeared on his face. "But, the castle is too big." When the castle was being built, a large number of gems that isolated magic were mixed into the building materials, resulting in less than 1/10 of the magic power that the wizard could use in the castle. Because there is too little magic power, the wizard cannot use magic to search, so he can only use his legs to find it. For a while, it was really hard to find any useful information. Walking up one level at a time, when the wizard reached the top floor, he suddenly heard some movement on this level. Come on, have a bite, it's delicious. How about a smile? It's a woman's voice." The wizard's expression became serious, and he immediately followed the direction of the sound and sneaked over. The space on the top floor is not large, but it is at least the size of several football fields. It was very empty, except for an exquisite and beautiful bed, all in pink color. There was a girl whose appearance could not be seen clearly sitting on the bed, and there was a little girl standing on the edge of the bed. This is... The wizard focused his attention on the girl with long straight hair who was leaning on the head of the bed and wearing a gorgeous fluffy dress. The girl seemed very indifferent and ignored the smiling little girl in front of her. The little girl smiled brightly and held a small piece of cake in her hand. "It's delicious. Eat it." The little girl's voice was very delicate and green, and she handed the small cake to the girl again. But the girl turned her head away, obviously not wanting to eat. This scene made the wizard a little confused. Of the two women, which one is the princess? The wizard looked at it for a while and felt that the one leaning on the head of the bed was the princess. But who is the little girl? This castle is a place for evil dragons. How could humans appear here? Unless, she was also snatched away by the evil dragon. The wizard thought about this and his brows relaxed a little. That's just right. Saving one is also saving two is also saving. After confirming again and again that the evil dragon was not in the castle, the wizard walked out openly. "Hello, two beautiful princesses, how are you?" "Who?" The smile on the little girl's face faded, and she glanced at the wizard sharply. "How dare you, how did you break in?" Don't be nervous, I'm a good person, and I'm here to save you," the wizard explained quickly, and even raised his hand to wipe his hanging bangs in a very disgusting manner. "Oh? Save us," the little girl's voice became unclear. "Yes, I am the legendary warrior, and I came here specifically to save you." The wizard stole Sutingyu's identity again without any courtesy. "Stop talking. Before the evil dragon appears, come with me quickly. I will protect you." At this time, the girl sitting on the bed had something abnormal in her cold eyes. The corners of the girl's lips twitched slightly, as if she wanted to say something. However, the little girl had already put down the cake in her hand and walked towards the wizard. It turns out to be the warrior. He actually dared to break in alone. His courage is commendable. That's right. I'm a warrior. If the evil dragon wasn't in the castle now, I would have killed the evil dragon myself to vent my anger on you," the wizard said with confidence. "Anyway, it's just something to brag about, who wouldn't?" "Wow. That's amazing," the little girl said in appreciation as she jumped closer to the wizard. The wizard pretended to be humble. "Where is it?" "Ah." The little girl accidentally fell flat on her face. Seeing this, the wizard subconsciously bent down to help him. "Careful." A cold voice came out. Before the wizard could react, the little girl who was lifted up by her raised her head, and the sweet girl's face suddenly turned into an ugly and terrifying dragon's head. He opened his mouth and bit off the wizard's entire head. Puff. The wizard's head missed, and large amounts of blood sprayed out from the severed head. The taste is just so-so." A childish and squeamish female voice came out bit by bit from the mouth of the evil dragon's head, seeming to have some unfinished meaning. The headless wizard's body fell limply to the ground, lifeless. Outside the castle. Somewhere. Depend on. The wizard, who turned into a transparent APO, looked frightened and angry. That little girl turned out to be a dragon. Damn it. You were so careless. It also caused him to waste a life-saving tool in vain. At the moment, the wizard is still in the form of APO. This is a side effect of the life-saving props, and it will take a certain amount of time to recover. The wizard touched his intact neck, feeling a little frightened. His head was bitten off without any precautions. Although the stand-in doll helped withstand 90% of the pain at that moment, the remaining 10% was enough for the wizard to suffer. Although he had escaped safely now, he had already alerted the enemy. He never expected that the evil dragon could be so cunning and turn into a human form, turning into a harmless little girl. Now, it becomes more difficult to kill the evil dragon and win its heart. You need to be a little more cautious. Boss, we're almost there. Let me see where the secret passage is. It seems to be over here. Fat man, just wait outside for a while. At this time, the wizard heard two somewhat familiar voices, and he immediately became alert. There are other people on this island. Wait, this voice sounds a bit familiar. Now, the wizard is in the state of Apiao, and ordinary people cannot see him. So the wizard floated over confidently and boldly. When the wizard saw the owner of the voice, his eyes widened in anger. It's them. It's really those two alien players. They are actually here now. So fast? He clearly remembered the humiliation Sutinyu gave him. Now I meet someone. He was hiding and Sutinyu was hiding. This was a good time to take revenge and go back. Wait a moment. These two alien players are going to the castle to complete the main mission. And the evil dragon's disguise skills are so superb, if they go in stupidly, they will definitely be deceived and their heads will be eaten. If the copy is eliminated because of this, that would be really cool. Even if they are not eliminated on the spot, the evil dragon is not weak and can definitely consume part of their physical strength and props. When the time came, he struck again and took down the two of them easily. The wizard made a good calculation in his mind, and looked at Sutinyu and Fatty again with a bit of schadenfreude in his eyes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 1031. In a cave, Sutinyu asks Xiao Kanhua to dig in the soil. After a while, a small hole was dug out. It was hollow inside and looked like a long passage leading to nowhere. On the wall of this passage, there are lights installed at regular intervals. After the closed passage is opened, the outside air pours in, and the lights on the wall light up one by one. Fat man, I'm in. Boss, please be safe. Okay. Sutinyu walked into the passage. Go and go. Slowly, just use the flying ones. After groping in the passage for almost an hour, I finally saw the end. Sutinyu first let Dahui go through the wall to see if there was any danger outside. After making sure it was safe outside, Sutinyu drank a bottle of magic potion. After a few seconds, Sutinyu's entire body became insubstantial. As if she had turned into a transparent Apiao, she easily passed through the wall and arrived inside the castle. Is this the dragon's castle? It's quite big. It feels like it can compete with the giant's castle. These are places where super big guys live. However, in such a big place, it is still a bit difficult to find the princess as soon as possible. Sutinyu put on the invisible hat, then flapped the small wings on his back and flew around the castle. According to fairy tales, the prince's routine to save the princess must be to overcome many difficulties, and finally go to the highest point of the castle to save the princess. She knows all these tricks. Therefore, Sutinyu temporarily gave up searching under the castle and flew directly to the top of the castle. During this period, Sutinyu carefully observed the surrounding situation. Moreover, it flies close to the ceiling, ensuring that it will not make any noise due to touching anything. However, Sutinyu hadn't seen the evil dragon even after entering the castle for so long. This is indeed a bit strange. It's also possible that the castle was too big and we didn't encounter the dragon. After a while, Sutinyu finally flew to the top of the castle. Sutinyu discovered that the staircase leading to the top of the building had been locked by an iron door. In addition, a large circular cavity was cut out in the ceiling between the top floor and the lower floor. There are no stairs, so if someone jumps down directly, he or she will be disabled. Because the floor height here is not like the human world, which is only a few meters high. Sutinyu guessed that this was done to facilitate the passage of the evil dragon. Since there was an iron door above the stairs, Sutinyu flew in directly through the hole. There are no unnecessary ornaments or decorations on the top floor of the castle. Sutinyu looked around and saw an exquisite princess bed. There, seems to be someone lying there. Could it be a princess? Sutinyu became suspicious. Immediately, Sutinyu flew over. On the ceiling, Sutinyu gradually flew closer, trying to see clearly the face of the man on the bed. By the way, Sutinyu has never really seen what the princess in the fairy tale world looks like. Sutinyu was looking forward to it, but the next second, when she really saw the princess' appearance clearly, she was stunned. For a moment, I forgot how to fly and fell from the ceiling. What a coincidence, it fell directly onto the bed. Fortunately, with the cushioning of the soft bed, Sutinyu did not suffer any injuries. However, this sudden disco dance also alarmed the person sitting on the bed. When Sutinyu fell, the hat on his head also fell off, becoming invisible and disappearing. The whole person is also revealed. Sutinyu quickly raised her head, but unexpectedly, her eyes met with the person on the bed. I rely on me, I rely on me, I rely on me. Sigma. Sutinyu was completely dumbfounded. Although the beautiful woman with long flowing hair and an exquisite and gorgeous princess dress in front of her has a very cool and noble temperament. But this face was very familiar to Sutinyu. Kikai. How did you become like this? Sutinyu bit her lip, looking like she was about to cry. Damn it! Why did Kikai suddenly turn into a girl? Moreover, she still turned into such a beautiful and lovely girl. Wait a minute, Kikai, you weren't originally a woman disguised as a man, were you? As soon as the words came out of his mouth, Sutinyu turned to stone. No way. No way. No way. Wow. Sutinyu was about to cry. So was she emotionally deceived? Qin-Chi was also surprised that Sutinyu would appear in such a way. However, seeing Sutinyu's imaginative expression, Qin-Chi could not care less about the embarrassment at this moment and said helplessly, I am a boy or a girl, haven't you seen them all? Just before. Inside the hospital. Ah! Sutinyu's feverish and frozen brain felt as if a basin of cold water had been poured over his head, and it slowly returned to normal operation. Yes. She had seen Kikai before, cough cough cough. Kikai is a boy. She saw it with her own eyes. It's all Lulu's fault. Recently, I watched a bloody drama with him that was too low-key. I took it in unconsciously. Sutinyu quickly returned to the topic, then Kikai, why are you like this? Qin-Chi explained, because of the identity card. Halfway through the words, Qin-Chi's face looked slightly unnatural. As soon as I entered the dungeon, I touched the princess card in my hand. Then, the card's identity took effect, and my hair became longer. This dress, because of the card, I couldn't take it off no matter what. Qin-Chi's voice became quieter and quieter as he spoke. This kind of thing is so shameful. He is a boy and is forced to wear women's clothing, so that's it? The most important thing was that he was directly seen by the big fish. How are you, princess? How are you, princess? Sutinyu pretended to cough twice. However, the smile at the corner of his mouth could not be concealed. /U0026GT, /U0026LT he. She is a prince and Kikai is a princess. Isn't this a perfect match? Kikai, I am a prince, entrusted by Starlight Kingdom to be a warrior to save the princess. As he said that, Sutinyu shook his head and put on a pose that he thought was very handsome. You. Qin-Chi blinked. Such a coincidence. Qin-Chi said, but before you, there was also a man who also claimed to be a warrior. His clothes were exactly the same as yours. What? Where did the fake warrior come from? Since you dare to pretend to be me, Sutinyu's eyes widened. Where is the other person? Where is the other person? I will kill him. Sutinyu puffed up her face. Damn it. Fortunately, Chi-Chi is still here, otherwise, her role as a hero saving the beauty would be gone. Moreover, the main mission will also fail as a result. At this moment, Sotingyu selectively forgot that when the fat man told her the princess might be a boy on the way home, he had a look of disgust and doubt in life. He was bitten to death by the evil dragon, but when he came, my panel didn't show anything, and I guessed that he might not be real. Qin did not say the last two words. Originally, his inexplicable identity as a princess was already a headache. Unexpectedly, the prince turned out to be a big fish, which made Qin even more embarrassed. However, Qin felt faintly relieved. At any rate, the big fish is here, not some other strange player. Nice job. Good bite. How dare you pretend to be me? As soon as Sotingyu heard this, she wanted to applaud the evil dragon. Ah, no. Wait. Evil dragon. Sotingyu asked with a serious face, Kikai, where is the evil dragon? I didn't even see it when I came up. You're lucky, she just went down. In addition, Qin told Sotingyu about the evil dragon turning into a little girl in human form. The stranger who pretended to be a warrior was deceived by the dragon's little girl face. Then he was careless and fell into disrepair. Then what are you waiting for? Let's leave quickly. Sotingyu jumped out of bed and waved to Qin. Kikai, come down quickly. Sotingyu felt a little strange. After talking for so long, why did Kikai keep sitting there? Sotingyu rolled his eyes and suddenly said seriously, my princess, your prince is here, don't be afraid. After finishing speaking, Sotingyu stretched out his hand in front of Qin, very gentlemanly and polite. Sotingyu chuckled, how is it? Is there something wrong with your main mission? I feel good about this ritual, right? Or do you want me to carry you down? Qin pursed her lower lip and said, no. Yes, I can't walk now. Ah, what do you mean? Sotingyu's smile faded. Qin explained, after I got the princess card, it seemed that the copy was trying to limit my abilities, so I couldn't walk with my legs again, just like before. The princess is waiting for the prince to rescue her. If the princess could save herself, it would violate the rules of the dungeon. Hearing this, Sotingyu grabbed a corner of the quilt covering Qin, lifted it up, and then reached out and poked Qin's thigh. No response. Can this dungeon still be played like this? Haven't you already used the fantasy repair agent? Sotingyu suddenly felt angry in his heart. It's for copies. What is this? Obviously the game itself stated that as long as you use the fantasy repair agent, you can completely recover without any sequelae, but now I'm fine. Apart from this, the inventory is temporarily unavailable, but everything else is fine. Qin Theo. Sotingyu stretched out his hands and gestured twice towards Qin, then let me hold you and go. Sorry to bother you. No trouble, no trouble. When Sotingyu bent down to pick the person up, he smelled a faint aroma from the latter's body. Qin put his hands on Sotingyu's neck. There were a few strands of her long, flowing hair, which made her look very naughty. He also played with Sotingyu's cheeks from time to time, making her a little itchy. Kikai, you smell so good. What kind of fragrance is this? Sotingyu reluctantly endured it, so as not to lie on Qin's body and smell it like a crazy person. Scent? Is it there? Qin was stunned for a moment, and then he lowered his head and sniffed, but didn't smell anything. I didn't smell it? Ah, oh. Anyway, it was just a scent. Sotingyu didn't pay much attention to it, so he just ignored it. Kikai, is your mission to wait here for the prince to rescue you? Qin rested his head on Sotingyu's shoulder. Hearing this, his eyes flickered slightly, absolutely. Sotingyu blinked her big eyes and said in a teasing tone, oh, that's just right. My mission is to save my princess. Out of sight of Sotingyu, Qin's face had a slight blush. Well. Sotingyu was shocked for a second. She didn't expect Qin to respond. Cough cough cough, then hold me steady, I will take you out now. Sutingyu put on his hat again and was about to hold Qin-Chi and fly out of the castle. At this time, there was movement downstairs. Qin-Chi, who had stayed here for so many days, immediately realized that the evil dragon was back. Qin-Chi reminded, "Big Fish, the evil dragon is here." Hearing this, Sutingyu looked stern. He didn't come early, he didn't come late, but he came at this time. Sutingyu took out a bottle of magic potion with the same invisibility effect from the storage ring and asked Qin-Chi to take it. "Kikai, drink this and you can become invisible." Qin-Chi did so. The next second, Qin-Chi, who was held in Sutingyu's arms, slowly disappeared. In fact, the person was still being held by Sutingyu, but he was out of sight. Sutingyu also activated his invisibility ability and took Qin-Chi to fly to the ceiling. Just after making these disguises, the evil dragon came. Sutingyu saw the little girl Qin-Chi mentioned. She looks quite innocent and cute, but the dragon wings growing out of her back are a bit awkward. But after landing, the pair of wings retracted again. The little girl was holding a plate of freshly washed fruits in her hands as she jumped up to the princess bed. But when she saw no one on the bed, the little girl's face suddenly turned gloomy, and she smashed the fruit plate in her hand to the ground. The little girl looked up to the sky and roared, "My princess! Where are you? Damn thief! I'm going to bite your head off." All of a sudden, the little girl's entire figure began to swell. In just a few seconds, it transformed back into the image of a terrifying and ferocious dragon. The evil dragon's claw slapped the floor angrily, then spread its wings and flew up, circling around the top without missing any corner. Because of the evil dragon's search, Sutingyu had to change his hiding position from time to time to avoid being hit. Just like that, the evil dragon roared again because he couldn't find anyone on the top floor, and then flew down. Seeing that the evil dragon had left, Sutingyu took Qin-Chi downstairs without further delay. However, Sutingyu never expected that the evil dragon would directly go down and open the castle's mechanism. The magic circle of the sealed castle began to be used. The entire castle was sealed inside and out. Even the wall at the beginning of the passage is now enchanted. There is no way to pass it simply. I have a showdown. This round of copies is, The Adventures of Prince Big Fish and Princess Kikai. Goose, I have been thinking about it for a long time and finally wrote it. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-K. Chapter 1032. Sutingyu took out the magic potion that he had just used to make his body elusive. But when she took out the storage ring, the liquid inside instantly decomposed the magic factors, and soon, only a bottle of water was left. Sutingyu's face was confused. What happened? Sutingyu could no longer feel any magical energy in the potion bottle. Suddenly, Sutingyu remembered the history of the castle that Fatty had told her on the way here. When this castle was being built, the evil dragon asked human craftsmen to build a castle that could limit magic power. Therefore, the walls of the castle, including the ceiling and floor, were all attached with sealing spells that limited magic power. Sutingyu tried several more times, but now he couldn't get out without destroying the wall. If the wall is destroyed, the movement caused may very well attract the evil dragon in an instant. At that time, the secret passage in the castle was exposed. If Sutingyu couldn't kill the evil dragon on the spot, when the evil dragon reacted, he would definitely seek revenge from the human kingdom. Qin-Chi said, "Big Fish, the evil dragon is back again." The two of them stayed in place for a long time, and the evil dragon turned around and flew back again. There is no way. Sutingyu and the two had no choice but to hide in an inconspicuous general room in the castle. Sutingyu saw an old mattress in the room, so he placed Qin-Chi on it. "Kikai, I'm sorry for you first." With Qin-Chi's current situation, Sutingyu didn't want to confront the evil dragon head-on. If Qin-Chi was hurt, it would be too late for Sutingyu to regret it. By the way, did it say on the panel when your legs will return to normal? You can't keep it like this until the end of the instance. Sutingyu reached out and touched Qin-Chi's legs. The latter still had no symptoms. Perception. As long as you escape from the castle, you can return to normal. Qin-Ki-Theo. The mattress was not placed against the corner, so Qin-Chi's entire upper body was currently leaning on Sutingyu's body. It's good to be able to recover, but now the evil dragon has activated the defense mechanism in the castle and won't be able to get out for a while. Sutingyu just breathed a sigh of relief, but couldn't help but feel depressed. Huh? Kikai, why is your face so red? Sutingyu saw Qin-Chi's face at this time, which was a little rosier than before. The sides of the cheeks seemed to have been smeared with a light layer of cigarette grease, and the water in the eyes was blurred, without the clarity at the beginning. Huh? Hong. Qin-Chi clasped Sutingyu's shoulders with both hands, and then rubbed his head into the latter's shoulder. Sutingyu froze. Kikai. This move made him, Sutingyu, feel that something was wrong with Qin-Chi. In the past, no matter how close Qin-Chi was to her, he only touched her head lightly. How could he be so presumptuous? He was still rubbing against her body, like a kitten that just wanted to be petted and loved. Sutingyu asked with concern, Kikai, how are you doing? Qin-Chi bit his lower lip, and his mind suddenly became clearer. I have a mission here, I need your help. Tell me, what's your mission? I'll definitely help you. Sutingyu looked serious. As soon as Sutingyu finished speaking, his own panel popped up. Dear Prince, hello, now, Her Royal Highness the Princess who needs you has launched a rescue mission to you. Do you accept it? Accept. Sutingyu accepted it without even thinking about it. However, when she saw clearly the content of the temporary mission, she was dumbfounded. Temporary mission, Princess's Cross-Dressing Commission, 0/3. Task content, please find the card with suitable costume props in the dragon's castle, and then, as the prince, you will personally dress up the princess. Sutingyu. What? Dress up? Isn't it what she thinks? This meows transformation into a miraculous warmth in seconds. Sutingyu looked at Qin-Chi unwillingly. At this time, the blush on Qin-Chi's face became more and more obvious, and now he did not dare to look directly into Sutingyu's eyes, looking very guilty and shy. If you find it difficult to handle, you can just give up, Qin-Chi said intermittently. His condition was not very good, but he could barely maintain a trace of sanity. The aroma lingering on the tip of Sutingyu's nose became stronger and stronger, as if it was stirring the thoughts in her heart. Kikai, if this temporary mission is completed, what will happen to you? Qin-Chi moved his lips. Actually, this is a mission that only belongs to the two identities of prince and princess. It is also a mission that can only be triggered after meeting you. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. It won't have much impact on me. Sutingyu glanced at Qin-Chi, who couldn't help but nuzzle in her arms, and deeply doubted the authenticity of what he said. It didn't have much impact. Putting this together, Sutingyu also guessed, Kikai, is it because this task has not been completed, so you are just now without? Qin-Chi immediately denied it. But after saying that, Qin-Chi couldn't help but nuzzled into Sutingyu's arms, seeming to enjoy it very much. But this kind of behavior is just to stir up trouble for Sutingyu. Sutingyu took a deep breath and clasped Qin-Chi's moving body with both hands. Kikai, I will complete this temporary task. Big fish, you don't have to force it. Ahem, I'm not forcing this. I'm just trying to help you. Sutingyu spoke righteously. You stay here first, I'll go out and see if I can find a disguise card. Sutingyu left Qin-Chi a hat that made him invisible. Later, he used the transformation emerald to transform into a bird that was only the size of a thumb. Fly out. After Sutingyu came out, when he was thinking about how to find the card set, the panel popped up again. This time, it seemed like a treasure map was given. In the position of the treasure, a model of clothes was specially drawn. Are you looking for clues directly? Sutinyu felt a little strange. When did the dungeon become so kind and arrange such a simple task? With doubts in her heart, Sutinyu followed the route of the treasure map and looked for it. Finally, in the corner of a window pane, I found a card set. Card set, the princess's lost sailor uniform. How to use, shake. Sutinyu. Depend on. Female sailor uniform. Sutinyu was just about to be shocked, but when she thought of Qin wearing a princess dress, it seemed like, it wouldn't be strange to have a female sailor uniform. Now that he had found a card suit, Sutinyu returned directly to find Qin. Utility room. Sutinyu pushed the door open and locked it immediately. Kikai, I found a set. Seeing that it was Sutinyu, Qin breathed a sigh of relief, lay back down again, and asked, what? Just, the sailor uniform. Sutinyu's eyes became wandering. Sailor uniform, Qin's mind subconsciously thought of the kind of work clothes worn on ships. Oh, that's okay. I have never been in contact with Qin, and I don't know the reputation of sailor uniforms. But Sutinyu, I have never seen pork, but I have seen pigs running. Watching so many cartoons with Lucifer is not for nothing. Among them, there are quite a lot of anime in my childhood. All kinds of uniforms are fun to play with. Qin lay on the mattress, glanced at Sutinyu with a blushing face, and then immediately closed his eyes. Come on. Oh. During the time when he was hospitalized in the real world, Sutinyu helped Qin change his clothes. However, Qin was unconscious at that time and Sutinyu could hypnotize himself. This was just to help a child change clothes. But now, Kikai is awake. Then I'll start. After Sutinyu stammered these words, he couldn't help but slap himself. Why would you say such a thing? Ah. This makes her look very excited, looking forward to it, and yearning for it. Impossible. It's impossible for the little fairy to be such a rogue. Sutinyu stretched out her hand and helped Qin unzip the zipper on his back. As soon as he pulled it all the way, Sutinyu immediately saw Qin's back as white and smooth as jade. Sutinyu also wore a similar skirt and knew how to take it off quickly. Sutinyu first took off the sleeves of both hands, and then pulled the entire princess skirt down. Cough cough cough. When Sutinyu's peripheral vision glanced at a certain part, it was covered by a thin layer of black cloth and nothing was exposed. Sutinyu breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. So far so good. This cross-dressing mission isn't so perverted. Qin closed his eyes, even though he was deceiving himself so much that he couldn't see. However, it also expands the perception of other senses. Especially where Sutinyu's gaze lingered for a while, he could clearly feel it. Qin buried her face in the mattress, and the blush on her face slowly spread to her ears. Those delicate pink earlobes are like a ripe little cherry, which looks very attractive, quietly waiting for the destined person to pick it. After taking off the princess dress, Sutinyu immediately shook the sailor uniform card. The next second, Sutinyu held a brand new, complete set of female sailor uniforms in both hands. From tops, to skirts, to stockings, to shoes, everything is available. Sutinyu didn't dare to delay and immediately put them on Qin one by one. Top, tie, stockings. When she picked up the skirt, a thin piece of fabric slipped from it and landed on Sutinyu's palm. Sutinyu turned over and took a look. Suddenly, he felt like his brain had been struck by lightning, and he was completely stunned. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And this? You won't want to change this. Sutinyu hesitated again and again, but decided to have a showdown with Qin first. Sutinyu reached out and poked the side of Qin's face. Kikai, there's something you need to do. The man lying on the bed as docile as a sheep, his eyelashes trembled slightly, and then he slowly opened his eyes. However, when he saw the small piece of rag held by Big Fish in his hand, his mind immediately stopped. Big Fish, this. Sutingyu confessed, this is also part of the uniform. Qin-Chi's pupils slowly dilated, some were shocked, but more confused and at a loss. Then, just. Qin-Chi didn't dare to look at Sutingyu. He bit his lower lip tightly and his voice began to tremble. Suddenly, Sutingyu leaned down and held Qin-Chi's face with one hand. The girl's pink cherry mouth directly pinched Qin-Chi's lips that had turned white from biting. Before Qin-Chi could react, Sutingyu coughed twice. Kikai, I will be responsible. You. Before Qin-Chi could recover from the shock of Sutingyu taking the initiative to kiss him, he was stunned when he heard Sutingyu's words again. Sutingyu coughed twice and explained, actually, before entering the dungeon, I was planning to go back to find you. I wanted to tell you the answer I told you to consider before. Sutingyu began to stare at the person in front of him, with unabashed calmness and determination in his eyes. And Sutingyu suddenly became so serious, which Qin-Chi couldn't get used to. Kikai Sutingyu leaned close to Qin-Chi's ear, as if whispering. The little fairy from the sky said she likes you. The kind that I like very much, the kind that I want to be with forever. Are you willing to let the little fairy like you? This is Big Fish's confession? Qin-Chi blinked slowly. This sudden confession made him ignore the shame he felt when he saw the little rag just now. At this moment, he just felt like spring had returned to the earth in his heart, and his whole body was immersed in the sugar jar, unable to extricate himself. Qin-Chi was a little unsure. Big U, what you said, is it true? Sutingyu suppressed the prairie dog scream in her heart and nodded calmly, really, the little fairy never lies. In the end, Qin-Chi was so coaxed that he even forgot when Sutingyu helped him change into a full sailor suit. The temporary task has reached 1/3 of its progress. Qin-Chi also felt that he did not feel as uncontrollable as before. Although the blush on my face has not gone away. Sutingyu's second treasure map has also appeared, and it's time to look for it. Sutingyu helped Qin-Chi lie down, and then took another quick sip, watching the latter's blush that had just subsided surge up again, and then left the utility room with a satisfied he 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 he. The second card set is located in the evil dragon's bedroom. It's called a bedroom, but it's actually almost like a huge cave. It's just that this cave entrance is inlaid with gold and jade, and it is filled with rare and precious treasures at the height of hills, all shining with gold. The dragon's hobby is to poop on these sparkling treasures and sleep on them. Sutingyu worked as a little digger over and over again from a pile of treasures as high as a hill, and even summoned 50 small broken flowers to dig together. Finally, it only took 10 minutes to find the second card set. In response to the aspirations of the masses, our big fish is attacking. Grace. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Kei. Chapter 1033. Sutingyu picked up the card and took a look. Suddenly, she felt a little warm under her nose. He stretched out his hand and wiped it, but his hand was full of blood. Holy shit. She actually had a nosebleed. Sutingyu wiped away the nosebleed randomly, and at this moment, the panel popped out. Card set, the silk suspender pajamas left behind by the princess. How to use, shake. Sutingyu quickly put the cards back, and then called Xiao Kanhua and the others back. Sutingyu turned around and was about to go out, but after taking a few steps, he suddenly stepped on something. That section of the floor suddenly dropped one level. Sutingyu was stunned for a moment, and then reacted immediately. Could this be stepping on a trap? The next second, alarms sounded throughout the castle. The evil dragon that had already flown out of the castle heard the siren and immediately looked up to the sky and roared angrily. Damn thief! I won't let you go. The evil dragon did not expect that it had been searching inside the castle for so long but could not find it. It thought that the thief had run out of the castle. But as a result, a thief has entered the castle now. After roaring, the evil dragon immediately turned around and flew back towards the castle. On the other side, Sutinyu hurried back to the utility room. Qin-Chi also heard the commotion outside. When he saw Sutinyu coming back, he asked, "Big U, what happened outside?" Sutinyu took out the card from the inventory. "While looking for this, I accidentally stepped on the trap. Now the evil dragon should have noticed that we are still in the castle." Sutinyu didn't want to step on the trap either. It's just that this inexplicable mechanism was not shown in the drawings given by Starlight Kingdom. Qin-Chi inadvertently glanced at the picture on the card. The next second, he quickly turned his head away, and his face turned red again. == cough. Sutinyu realized that Qin-Chi had seen this card and coughed twice unconsciously. "It's not very secluded here. Let's take you to a more secluded place first, and then help you do the task." Sutinyu suppressed her little heart that had become yellow and said seriously, "Well." Qin-Chi's voice became very quiet, almost inaudible. According to the internal map of the castle obtained by Sutinyu, craftsmen 200 years ago had created a hidden secret room. That's the only place where no magic seals are placed. Originally, that place would be connected to the passage. However, the evil dragon found that the castle was almost completed and only some finishing projects were left, so he killed the craftsmen directly. And those craftsmen didn't even have a chance to react, so they were all taken away. Now, it is convenient for Sutinyu and Qin-Chi. Sutinyu hugged Qin-Chi and moved quickly inside the castle. The secret room, is here." Sutinyu pressed a switch in a corner wall of the kitchen. Then, a tile on the floor retracted, revealing a small, dark hole. Under the small hole, there is a staircase leading to the ground. "Damn thief! I'm going to tear you apart." At this time, the dragon's voice came from outside the castle. Sutinyu didn't dare to delay at all, and hurried in with Qin-Chi in her arms. Below is a small secret room. After entering, Sutinyu directly pressed the switch in the secret room, and the hole above closed again. However, there is no bed in the secret room here. However, the fat man, who was very thoughtful, had packed a lot of things for Sutinyu and asked the latter to put them in the storage ring. Among them, there are several beds. Sutinyu picked out a sheet at random, laid out the sheets, and then let Qin-Chi lie on it. After placing Qin-Chi, Sutinyu did not rush to complete the task. Instead, he quickly came to the stairs and released the big Hui, letting it pass through the floor to explore the situation outside. At this time, the evil dragon was already searching inside the castle. In this search, the evil dragon no longer paid attention to some items in the castle. In anger, he even knocked over many objects with his claws. From time to time there was a ping-ping-pong-pong sound from above. "Damn it, come out quickly, come out. I'm going to tear you apart, I'm going to bite your neck off." The evil dragon had also visited the area where Sutinyu was located several times. However, there are not many things blocking the top of this secret room. It was just a small piece of empty floor. At first glance, there was nothing. Naturally, the evil dragon didn't take it to heart. On the contrary, the evil dragon will focus on searching places with a lot of debris. It also includes the utility room where Sutinyu and Qin-Chi originally hid. Because the things there were not very important, the evil dragon spit out a breath of dragon breath and burned all the items inside to ashes. After Dewey came back, he reported the situation outside. Sutinyu breathed a sigh of relief. So far so good. They left long ago. Otherwise, even if it is not burned to black charcoal, it will definitely be exposed. Sutinyu took the big gray back into the inventory. In the inventory, You can't see what's going on outside, unless Sutinyu takes out the entire angel tablet. But now, Sutinyu just wants to make the big gray inside invisible to them. Kikai, the evil dragon can't be found here for the time being. Sutinyu came back and explained the situation to Qinchi. Yet Qinchi responded softly, and then neither of them responded. In the end, it was Sutinyu who broke the awkward atmosphere. Sutinyu took out the card set, sat directly on the bed, and then shook the cards in his hand. Then, a thin rag appeared on Sutinyu's hand. Two little paws lifted up the two straps of the pink and tender skirt, one on the left and the other on the right. It's almost completely transparent. I bought it? Qinchi just glanced secretly, and then closed his eyes as if accepting his fate. This time, Sutinyu was smart enough not to say anything more about start and started directly. Take off the female sailor uniform that was originally put on by Chi-Chi. From shoes to stockings, to skirts, and then to tops. That top still needs Qin Kadong's cooperation to take it off. Sutinyu's hands seemed to have their own thoughts, uncontrollably touching the smooth and delicate skin again and again. One couldn't hold it back and stroked her several times. Chi-Chi was buried in the bed sheets. At this moment, her whole face looked like a perfectly ripe peach, white and pink inside, and pink inside. Sutinyu came to her senses, immediately grabbed the little skirt and helped Kikai up. Then, wear it from the top of the head. When the whole skirt is put on, it can only cover half of the buttocks because the skirt is too short. If he moved even a little bit, everything underneath would be exposed. However, even if it can cover part of it, this is an almost completely transparent little skirt. The feeling of half covering and half covering, wanting to resist but welcome, is more tempting than not covering anything at all. What kind of broken game is this? Sutinyu was filled with anger. If she wasn't a prince, wouldn't there be another player who would attack Kikai like this? When Sutinyu thought of this possibility, a ball of fire burst out in his heart. This crappy game is going to be demolished sooner or later. However, Kikai has now finished wearing her clothes, but the task progress on the panel still shows 1/3. What's going on? Could it be that there is something missing? It shouldn't be, it seems like nothing is missing, right? Sutinyu's eyes moved downward slightly, and then he aimed at a certain area of the person in front of him. Suddenly, his expression changed. Damn. It seems that there is really something missing. That's. Kikai, don't move yet. It seems that the task has not been completed yet. After hearing these words, Chi Qiong, who originally wanted to get up, obediently stopped moving. Not yet, are you okay yet? Just wait a moment. Sutinyu took out a quilt from the storage ring and covered Kikai's entire body. Immediately, Sutinyu put her little hand into the quilt and groped for a while. Big fish, you. There was something difficult to say in Kikai's voice. Sutinyu could only explain awkwardly, it should be, that, it hasn't been done yet, so the mission progress has not changed. Qinchi simply fell silent. Sutinyu took out a small piece of rag in 3 strokes. Subsequently, the progress of the task successfully became 2/3. Seeing this, Sutinyu breathed a sigh of relief. That's pretty good. So, now, the last thing is needed. However, if you go out to look for it now, it will be more difficult than the previous 2 sets. Because the evil dragon has confirmed that they are still in the castle and will not give up if they don't find anyone. But now we can't wait too long, things will change if we delay, and we must complete the disguise mission as soon as possible. Kikai, wait for me here, I'll go out to find the 3rd set. Okay. Qinchi stretched out his hand, grabbed the corners of the quilt, and then wrapped his whole body into a ball. Sutinyu walked to the stairs. First, let Dawei go out to explore the road. Then, Sutinyu looked at the map displayed on the panel and confirmed the location of the 3rd card set. It was actually on the top floor where Chin-Chi used to be. Now I have to go up again. Master, that evil dragon is not on this floor now. De Hui came back to report. After getting the news, Sotingyu quickly opened the exit of the secret room, put on his invisible hat, and flew out. After coming out, he closed the secret room again. Dragons probably can't take stairs. Therefore, Sotingyu flew up the stairs. Midway, Sotingyu stopped when he heard the sound of a dragon flapping its wings on one of the floors. After a few seconds, the figure of the evil dragon passed before her eyes. After waiting for the evil dragon to leave, Sotingyu continued on his way. The stairs on the top floor were still locked. Similarly, Sotingyu also went up from the big hole and started searching. There wasn't a lot of debris on this floor, so it was easier for Sotingyu to find it. It only took him less than 5 minutes to get the third card set. Only. When Sotingyu felt that she was mentally prepared and looked at the picture of the card in her hand, she was still shocked. This. His meow turned out to be. Sotingyu's pupils dilated. It took a while before he recovered from the shock. Sotingyu took a deep breath and put the card into the inventory with her fingers trembling. This is so damn. You are forcing the little fairy to commit a crime. Sotingyu is back. Chin-Chi turned his head and glanced, pursed his lips. This time, what is it? Chin-Chi really couldn't think of a more shameful suit. When Sotingyu heard this, the expression on his face suddenly became extremely complicated, and he said coquettishly, this time, well, it's a bit, just, a little bit special. You can tell which of the first two sets is not special. Chin-Chi took a deep breath and said in a deep voice. Sotingyu blinked his big eyes, then I'll tell you. Actually, it's nothing. Sotingyu handed over the card set. The Forgotten Princess New Clothes. I saw that the picture was empty, there was nothing, only the background color of the picture card itself. Chin-Chi was stunned for a moment. What's coming, new clothes? The princess's new clothes, the emperor's new clothes? Chin-Chi thought of a fairy tale through the last two words, and his face became dull. No. It can't be. Sotingyu blinked his big eyes, you'll know if you try it. The vague aroma around her became stronger and stronger, making her feel uneasy. For the mission. Sotingyu is willing to sacrifice herself to help Kikai. That's right. The little fairy has absolutely no selfish motives. Sotingyu rubbed his hands nervously. Kikai, No. Stop. This makes the little fairy look more like a gangster. Big fish, I haven't. Chin-Chi wanted to say something else, but Sotingyu didn't give the former a chance to speak and jumped on the bed in a few steps. In order not to make Chi-Chi feel embarrassed, Sotingyu was very considerate and did not lift the quilt, but also reached in to take off the thin skirt. Just, an excitement. Sotingyu tore her skirt open on the spot. Sotingyu was stunned for a second, and then shook off the cloth in his hand. He was still muttering, this thing is really useless, the copy is really a piece of shit. Okay, big fish. His body suddenly became much cooler. Kikai endured the restlessness in her heart and reached out to push Sotingyu next to her. At this time, Sotingyu's head was buried in Kikai's neck. He took a deep breath of the fragrance, and his eyes gradually became very strange. Kikai, you really smell so good. Scent? No, Kikai subconsciously denied it. But Sotingyu still didn't let go. Really, you really smell good. It's like a piece of cake, I really want to, like I took a bite. While talking, Sotingyu really tried to do it. Sotingyu gently held up Kikai's blushing face, and then took a sip, tasting the rosy and plump candy. Take a bite. Then lick it. Smash it again, hit it in your mouth, and savor it. Finally, I took the candy in my mouth, sucking it bit by bit, and my mouth was full of sweetness. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 1034. Big Fish, What's Wrong with You? Chin-Chi, who was a little dizzy, retained the last trace of reason and remembered the aroma that Sotingyu had mentioned several times. Aroma. Correct. There must be something wrong with the aroma. Chin-Chi grabbed Sotingyu's moving little hand. Big you, wake up. Kikai, I'm very awake, really. Sotingyu raised his head, and the reflection in his eyes was all of the people in front of him. The strange aroma in the air was like a big airtight net, tightly wrapping Sotingyu. Sotingyu pouted, but, I feel a little uncomfortable. Sotingyu lay on his body, like a little kangaroo that couldn't be shaken off. Suddenly, Sotingyu remembered the treasure hunt game he played when he was a child. At that time, she loved playing the most. She was deeply fascinated by the sense of mystery and surprise when playing games. But now, Sotingyu seemed to have discovered another big treasure that belonged to her alone. Sotingyu started to touch here curiously, and took a curious look there, having a great time. But this time, it was Chin-Chi who was in trouble. Big Fish. Is he willing? Of course Chin-Chi is willing. It's just that I am willing to do so. He's not ready yet. Chin Kikyang suppressed the restlessness in his heart. Big Fish, it's not possible now. No, I want it now. Sotingyu bit her lips lightly. Kikai, are you afraid of pain? Don't worry. I will be gentle. After saying that, Sotingyu patted his chest firmly, fearing that Chin-Chi wouldn't believe it. When Chin-Chi heard this, he was immediately choked. Although, Chin-Chi doesn't know much about this kind of thing. However, he also knew that this kind of thing shouldn't be more painful for girls, right? Suddenly, Sotingyu shouted in surprise as if he had discovered a new continent, Kikai, this. As she spoke, she poked again. Chin-Chi's face changed slightly and he said in a deep voice, Big Fish. Sotingyu tilted his head. Ah. What are you doing? You are cruel to me. Sotingyu narrowed his mouth and complained aggrievedly. Ahaha, no more love. Kikai, you are cruel to me. Humph. The boat of friendship can capsize at any time. When Sotingyu wasn't paying attention, Chin-Chi used only the strength of his upper body to restrain Sotingyu and grabbed the latter's troublesome hand. Chin-Chi took a deep breath and said helplessly, Big Fish, don't move around, okay? Sotingyu pursed her lips. She didn't want to agree. Kikai looks so fun. Little fairy wants to play. Seeing this, Chin-Chi could only continue to comfort him helplessly. When the copy comes out, it's up to you. As he spoke, his voice gradually disappeared. Chin-Chi continued speaking with some embarrassment. Sotingyu's eyes lit up. Really? Chin-Chi tilted his head, revealing the red tips of his ears. Yeah. Then. Sotingyu rolled his eyes and smiled. Kikai, good boy, let me do a physical examination for you first, okay? Then, a smug smile appeared on his face. Chin-Chi looked stunned. The next second, he met Sotingyu's eyes that were once again in confusion, and he smelled the faintest scent again on the tip of his nose. Chin-Chi was silent. Is this another trick? Kikai, do you like hot springs? Sotingyu tilted his head and asked a seemingly irrelevant question. What hot spring? Chin-Chi looked stunned. Kikai has never been in a hot spring, right? Sotingyu smiled mysteriously at Chin-Chi. There are also some additional services included in the hot spring. Sotingyu's words became more and more outrageous and confusing. Chin-Chi didn't know how to answer the question. At this time, Sotingyu's panel popped up. Ask the prince to give the princess a kiss of true love and wake her up. Sutingyu took a look. Well. Is this the last step in the costume change mission? Well. My princess, don't be afraid. Prince Big Fish is here to save you. Sutingyu's words suddenly popped out of his mouth, and then he jumped down. Big Fish. Qin-Chi wanted to stop Sutingyu. Kikai, be good, this is your mission. Sutingyu touched Qin-Chi's head and gently pulled the latter's hair, as if coaxing a child. As for its mouth, it was like a kitten that had just eaten its meat, gnawing hard at the food in front of it. 2 minutes later, Sutingyu's panel popped up again. Task completed. Sutingyu struggled a lot, and finally, she tilted her head in confusion. That's weird, something seems wrong. I'll think about it first. Sutingyu always felt that she could only get temporary satisfaction from rubbing around like this. But soon, I felt that I was no longer satisfied with this. Kikai, can you do it? Sutingyu had no choice but to blink her sincere eyes and ask Qin-Chi. Upon hearing Sutingyu's question, Qin-Chi suddenly started coughing violently, cough cough cough, I. Seeing that Qin-Chi couldn't answer, Sutingyu pursed his lips and said, you don't know how to do it either. No. It's not. Qin-Chi is inexperienced. But, having reached this point, can Qin-Chi still say no in front of the girl he likes? This is absolutely impossible. Qin-Chi just persuaded again, wait until the copy comes out, then do that, okay. Big Fish. After he got out, he went to study it first. He couldn't let the big fish see that he didn't know how to do it. Hey. Because he couldn't find the right method, Sutingyu could only look at the plum blossoms to quench his thirst. Kikai, you smell so good, Sutingyu muttered, then sat up. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-Kei. Chapter 1035. Sutingyu took out a bottle of antidote magic potion from the storage ring and drank it all. After the effect of the medicine took effect, the restlessness in Sutingyu's body was gradually replaced by a sense of coolness. Qin-Chi. Seeing this series of operations, Qin-Chi suddenly came to his senses. Big Fish originally had a way to solve the aroma problem, but he allowed himself to be tempted by the aroma, and then, like this, like that. Sutingyu, who didn't care about exposing his intentions at all, looked reluctant to leave, but now he could only let Qin-Chi go for the time being. Sutingyu took out the original princess dress and helped Qin-Chi put it on again. Kikai, you are so beautifully dressed, he he he. Sutingyu began to have wild thoughts. If Kikai goes back, will she? No, Qin-Chi refused without thinking. The evil dragon is still in the castle now. If you want to find us, we must first find a way to take you out secretly. Only by taking Qin-Chi out safely first could Sutingyu be able to concentrate on dealing with the evil dragon. Sutingyu turned around and looked at the secret room. This secret room was originally specially built by the previous craftsman, who wanted to connect to the passage over there so that they could escape. In that case, the walls around these secret rooms should not be sealed by magic. Sutingyu suddenly thought of a way, but it still needed to be investigated. She took out the map of the castle and compared it repeatedly. After determining the internal route of the castle from the secret room to the passage, she called out the little residual flowers. Then, I explained to them the route to be excavated and let them start work. There is a gap between the secret room and the passage that has not yet been excavated. If Sutingyu can successfully open up the secret rooms and passages, then he can avoid the evil dragon and leave the castle safely with Qin-Chi. However, during this period, you cannot make too much noise, lest it attract the attention of the evil dragon. In addition, there is also the scope of the magic seal. When excavating, you need to avoid places with magic seals. Go ahead. Sutingyu waved his hand, and the little flowers started to move. The little broken flowers are very efficient. After all, they are all very skilled. Soon, a hole appeared that could accommodate an adult, and slowly, it continued to extend inside. Upon seeing this, Sutingyu picked up Qin-Chi and walked into the cave entrance. At this time, the fat man outside was also very worried. From time to time, Fatty would check to see if there was any movement inside the cave entrance. The evil dragon flew out just now and roared loudly in the sky. At that time, the fat man was frightened. Still thought something happened to Sutingyu. However, Fatty quickly calmed down and analyzed it carefully. That evil dragon probably didn't catch Sutingyu, otherwise, he couldn't have looked like he was trying to catch someone. However, in this case, Sutingyu should have been exposed. The fat man hesitated again and again, but decided to continue waiting where he was. Now that the situation is unclear, he won't go in and cause trouble for the boss. Just as the fat man was thinking wildly, there was movement from inside the cave entrance. As soon as the fat man noticed it, he immediately ran over. "Boss! You finally!" When Fatty saw Sutingyu come out, his face showed joy, but when he saw the person Sutingyu was holding, his voice suddenly stopped. "Qin, brother Qin? Why are you in there? Wait, this suit of clothes you are wearing." Fatty suddenly discovered some blind spot. "No way, right? No, brother Qin is just." "That's right. Chi-Chi is the princess, hey, she matches me very well." Sutingyu smiled and put Qin-Chi down. Now out of the castle range, Qin-Chi's legs have recovered. The fat man's expression was a bit hard to describe, but the boss seems to be right. So, the fat man agreed, it is indeed worthy, a prince and a princess. Sutingyu turned around and looked around. "Fat man, you should have nothing to do here, right?" No, the fat man shook his head. Sutingyu opened the panel and took a look at her mission. "That's good, Fatty, help me take care of Kikai first, and I'll go back to find the evil dragon." "Okay, boss, no problem." Sutingyu turned his head and looked at Qin-Chi, who was lowering his head. Ahem. Sutingyu suddenly remembered that he didn't tell Kikai that the fat man was here. Now we met directly. So, Sutingyu quickly picked up Qin-Chi's face, gave him a sip, and said in a boss-like tone, "Be good, wait until I come back." The fat man beside him was immediately petrified on the spot. What's going on? What happened without him knowing? Yes, Qin-Chi nodded, looking very well behaved and docile. When Sutingyu heard this, his heart suddenly became hot. This evil dragon must be dealt with quickly. Then, come back and continue making out with the little fairy's big baby. Omega/hey. Far away. The wizard who had been secretly monitoring Fatty was shocked when he saw Sutingyu come out unscathed. How is it possible? She was able to escape safely. Is this man going back now to kill the evil dragon? No. Sutingyu must not be allowed to complete the main mission. The wizard's gaze suddenly became very fierce, and then he looked at Qin-Chi, who was wearing a princess dress and long hair. This is the princess. If the princess is killed, even if the dead girl can really kill the evil dragon, she will not be able to bring the princess back, so her mission will probably be in vain. As for the fat man next to Qin-Chi, the wizard paid no attention. The wizard had been able to capture the fat man alive before, so he naturally wouldn't find the fat man difficult to deal with. However, there is no rush yet. The wizard was planning in his mind that he would kill the princess when Sutingyu and the dragon were fighting, and there was no way to distract him. After killing the princess, you can continue to reap the benefits. After Sutingyu kills the evil dragon, he will go out to pick up the ready-made evil dragon blood, and kill Sutingyu by the way. The plan is perfect. The wizard stared at the princess and sneered in his heart. Since you won't be rescued by me, then I have no choice but to let you die. This time, After Sutingyu returns, he should not worry about exposing his whereabouts. On the contrary, he was very arrogant and announced his position with a loudspeaker. "Stupid dragon! I'm here, come if you can." The sound of the loudspeaker was very loud and powerful, and the evil dragon quickly received it and became very angry. "Damn reptile! How dare you provoke me?" The evil dragon flapped its wings and ignored the castle. It smashed several walls in succession and flew in front of Sutingyu. For a time, the love rivals met each other and were extremely jealous. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 1036. The evil dragon stared at Sutingyu with fierce eyes. "It was you, you damn thief, who stole the princess away. Is it you, a fat dragon like you, who dares to kidnap the princess?" Sutingyu retorted without fear. The evil dragon argued, "Nonsense. The princess is obviously mine." "Haha, you said the princess is yours, so it is yours. Has he admitted it? Does he like you?" Sutingyu rolled his eyes. "Look at how ugly you look. You are so confident. Do you think the princess will fall in love with you? Go ahead and dream, there is everything in your dream. Damn human. How dare you laugh at me?" Sutingyu shook a finger. "This is not a mockery, this is a fact. Your Highness, the princess, will only look after a kind, brave and just prince like me, do you understand? The princess and the prince are a perfect match." As he said that, Sutingyu puffed up his chest proudly. "And you, a big evil dragon, are just a big villain and cannon fodder. You must be somewhat self-aware." The evil dragon couldn't defeat the articulate Sutingyu, and immediately became angry. "I'm going to eat you up. This way, no one will steal the princess from me. The princess also likes me the most." Sutingyu clicked her tongue twice in her heart when she saw the evil dragon being blown away by her light words. "Kikai looks pretty popular. Even the female dragon is so obsessed. Come on. Am I afraid of you?" Sutingyu raised a friendly middle finger in the direction of the dragon in a provocative manner. "We have a fight, and only the winning side can have the princess. How's it going? You're not afraid, are you?" "Afraid? Insignificant human reptile, are you kidding me? Don't worry, I will trample your body to make it look better." Sutingyu showed a sly smile, and a meteor rod appeared in his hand. "Then come here." The evil dragon looked disdainfully, swung its tail, and swung it hard towards Sutingyu. But who would have expected that Sutingyu didn't make any move to escape? The meteor rod in his hand was enlarged several times, and he directly picked up the rod and hit him head-on. Boom! The evil dragon was so huge that it actually took several steps back. On the dragon's tail, the evil dragon can still feel a faint numbness. How is this possible? You are just a human. How can you defeat the noble dragon clan?" The evil dragon's eyes widened with disbelief on his face. Why is this little guy so powerful?" The evil dragon even vaguely felt that even if he, as a dragon, had the size advantage, he might not be able to beat this little guy in a head-on confrontation. "No. This is impossible. Dragon clan, it's not like I haven't fought before." Hearing this, Sutingyu shrugged. "Are dragons awesome? Amazing. The big baby who bullies and covets her will be beaten without fail. The other side. Haha, there's a fight over there, now is just the right time." Seeing that both Qin-Chi and Fatty were focusing on the battle at the castle, the wizard cast a magic spell on himself to restrain his breath, and then lurked in the direction of the two of them. At this time, Fatty was listening to the big noises over there, and from time to time the roar of the evil dragon could be heard. However, the fat man was not in a hurry. Because he was obsessed with Sutingyu's strength. "Brother Qin, how long do you think it will take for the boss to kill that evil dragon?" Qin-Chi shook his head slightly. "In terms of time, I can't say for sure. That depends on how serious the big fish is. Ah, by the way, Brother Chin, do you want to change your clothes? The fat man scratched his head and asked tentatively. Although Chin-Chi looks pretty good in this princess dress with her long hair. If Fatty hadn't known in advance that Chin-Chi was a man, he really wouldn't have noticed anything unusual. Chin-Chi coughed twice. This is the identity in the copy, there is no need to take it off. Upon hearing this, the fat man immediately gave a thumbs up. That's awesome, Brother Chin. Is this high fun? In order to clear the dungeon, anything can be sacrificed. Chin-Chi. Although Fatty's tone seemed quite normal, Chin-Chi always sounded a little uncomfortable. Chin-Chi was about to say something more, when suddenly, he noticed that something was not right nearby. At this time, Chin-Chi had already left the castle and all his abilities could be used normally. In the inventory, the sword god with the ancient bronze sword trembled slightly, as if he was warning something. Chin-Chi paused for a moment, and then said in a deep voice, "Fat man, be careful." Ah! What's wrong? The fat man slowly didn't realize what it meant. Lucifer, who had been lying in the fat man's coat pocket, had half of his head exposed. Before Sutingu entered the castle, he left Lucifer with Fatty to prevent the latter from encountering any accidents. Chin-Chi held his hands in vain, and an ancient bronze sword suddenly appeared. He glanced around coldly. "Come out." At this time, the wizard who wanted to approach quietly heard the sentence, and his heart trembled. Was this discovered? How can it be? Wait, why did a sword suddenly appear in this princess's hand? The wizard immediately thought of a possibility. Could it be that this princess is also a player? Seeing that he couldn't hide secretly, the wizard simply showed his figure and looked at Chin-Chi with complicated eyes. "How did you find me?" When Chin-Chi saw the face of the visitor, a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, but his voice was still cold. "Your Excellency, what do you want to do?" Although Chin-Chi's current dress is a bit biased toward girls, when he speaks, he can clearly tell that it is a male voice. The wizard's face instantly stiffened. Is this a humming man? The wizard couldn't help but think of the scene where he expressed his feelings to the princess in the castle, and he felt very angry. "What else can I do? Of course I will take your lives." The fat man exclaimed, "Brother Chin, this man's voice, I know him. The boss and I were on the way here. He also set a trap for us and wanted to kill us. Be careful, he knows all kinds of weird magic." Upon hearing this, Chin-Chi inserted the ancient bronze sword into the ground with his backhand. In an instant, all the little human heads inside the ancient bronze sword emerged, roaring in the air. And these little heads surrounded the two figures. Little tricks. The wizard waved his staff, and the next second, several strange dark clouds appeared in the air above Chin-Chi and Fatty. The thunder and lightning magic attacks in the dark clouds fell, and they were about to hit the two of them, but when they came into contact with the evil energy surging around them, they were directly disintegrated. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-K. Chapter 1037. The little heads who were just taking a defensive stance at first, saw this scene, and immediately rushed forward. The wizard was shocked. This. How could it be useless? Still no use at all. This man has a problem. Is it possible that he is like that little girl, restraining his magic? Seeing that the little man was about to rush over, the wizard began to think about retreating. He waved his staff again, and a teleportation array slowly appeared under his feet. He wants to escape again, Fatty said anxiously. Can't escape. At this time, Lucifer stretched out and flew out of the fat man's pocket. As Lucifer yawned, the wizard who wanted to escape was horrified to find that his teleportation magic had failed. Not only that, he couldn't move his whole body. Go! At Qin-Chi's command, all the evil little heads rushed towards the wizard. Ah! The vitality in the wizard's body is constantly sucked by the little human head. Before his consciousness completely dissipated, the wizard was filled with regret. Why does he want to mess with these people? However, there is no regret medicine in the world. Finally, there was no breath at all. After finishing their meal, the little heads obediently returned to the ancient bronze sword. At this time, the other side. The battle situation between Sutingyu and the evil dragon has also undergone a big change. In Sutingyu's hand, he had a big sword that could restrain the evil dragon. In addition, in terms of terrifying physical fitness, the evil dragon was horrified to find that he was no match for a mere human being. You, don't come over here. Do you still dare to steal the princess from me? Damn human, I am a noble dragon, don't slap me in the face. What happened if I hit you? What happened if I just slapped you in the face? Under Sutingyu's brutal ravages, the evil dragon had no ability to resist at all, and could only hold its head and passively accept the beating. Just when Sutingyu was about to kill the evil dragon with his big sword, the latter suddenly shrank in size. The next second, a petite little girl appeared in front of Sutingyu. Sister, please stop hitting me. The little girl clenched her little hands into fists and put them under her eyes to wipe her tears while still looking at Sutingyu eagerly. Oh, sister, I was wrong. Sutingyu suddenly stopped. Seeing this scene, the little girl's eyes flashed with a hint of cunning, and she continued to cry and said, Sister, I want a hug. As soon as he finished speaking, Sutingyu actually came over. Just as the little girl was planning in her mind, just waiting for Sutingyu to come over, she would immediately open her mouth and bite her head off hard. Bang! Sutingyu slapped the girl on the forehead, and then smashed her to the ground mercilessly. How dare you act coquettishly with me in front of a girl? Your special cat is a female dragon, how dare you reveal your gender? She's still a female, isn't she? Damn it! I don't know if Kikai was taken advantage of by this bad dragon. Although, when Sutingyu saw Qin-Chi, all the clothes on the latter were intact. It's just, God knows if this dragon forced Qin-Chi to do something. Just thinking about it made Sutingyu feel angry. Ah! The more I thought about it, the angrier I became, and the force on my hands became stronger. Under Sutingyu's violent beating, the girl transformed back into her original form as a dragon. Finally, Sutingyu took out the dragon-slaying sword and stabbed it into the dragon's head. Suddenly, his brains spewed all over the floor. The evil dragon's body struggled for a while and then died completely. After defeating the evil dragon and now rescuing the princess, Sutingyu's main mission has been refreshed. Main mission: bring the princess safely back to the Starlight Kingdom. It seemed that with this last step left, Sutingyu could clear this round of professional dungeon. Sutingyu was about to leave, but stopped again. She glanced at the dragon's body. The fleshy minions, dragons, and limbs on it should be of some use. Also, there are many great treasures hidden in the dragon castle. When I was looking for the second card set, the evil dragon's bedroom that I entered had many golden treasures in it. Now that the evil dragon is dead, don't these treasures belong to the little fairy? When he thought of this, Sutingyu's eyes instantly lit up. Sutingyu first used several bottles of magic potion with shrinking function and dripped it on the dragon's corpse. After the evil dragon's body shrunk, it was stored in the storage ring. When Sutingyu went back to find Qin-Chi and Fatty, he found traces of a fight. What's wrong? Sutingyu asked. The fat man briefly explained what happened. The wizard is here too. Sutingyu was a little surprised. Yeah, it looks like he's been secretly staying there for a long time. The fat man nodded. Since there are no more people, we don't care about this anymore. There are many treasures in the dragon castle. Take those treasures away first, and then we leave. Sutingyu rubbed his little hands. This is good. This is good, the fat man raised his hands in agreement. So, the three of them went to the castle and searched for 3 full hours. Because there are too many treasures, some of which cannot be stored in the inventory, so you can only choose powerful and rare treasures. After picking, the 3 of them left the island, got into the carriage, and prepared to return. Only halfway through, the 3 people's panels popped up. Attention, players of Starlight Kingdom, players have completed the main human quests of this round of dungeons. The number of players who have completed the main human quests, 1. The number of players who have not completed the main human quests, 11. After review, the special professions in this round of dungeons will be obtained by players who have completed all main missions. Number of places to obtain a profession, 1. Attention, players, the dungeon journey of Starlight Kingdom is about to end, and all players will be teleported out of the dungeon in 2 minutes. Sutingyu's eyes widened. Holy crap, someone actually completed the main mission first. Come on. This round of copy work was in vain. In one round of career dungeon, there are only a dozen, dozens, or even hundreds of people competing for 1 or 2 places. Those players who failed really didn't even get a cent in the end. Moreover, game currency will also be poured into it. But Sutingyu glanced at Qin next to him. It doesn't seem like it's a big loss. ******. /. The fat man's voice came from outside. Boss, brother Qin, have you also received the notification from the panel? Sutingyu replied, yes, I received it all. The fat man stopped the carriage. Since everything failed, there is no need to rush back to the Starlight Kingdom. The fat man expressed relief. Failure is normal. After all, this is a career dungeon. Only one person can get the career. If others can't get it, it will be a failure. Sutingyu asked, Fat man, your game currency should be enough to pay for the part of the game currency deducted from the copy. That's enough. I've always kept some game coins because I'm afraid of encountering this kind of situation, Fatty replied. That's good. After hearing this, Sutingyu felt relieved. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuan-K. Chapter 1038. Dr. Min's pupils dilated instantly. Monster, you are a monster. When the girl heard this, she became a little unhappy and retorted. They're not monsters, they're little fairies of Buling, mortals I just don't understand. While saying this, the girl put her hand on Dr. Min's face. Guess, can I crush you to death with just one hand? Dr. Min shook his head fiercely. No. No. I don't want to die. I still have experiments to finish. You can't kill me. If you kill me, you will be a murderer. You will be wanted nationwide and you will be arrested. Shoot. It's so scary. The girl said it was scary, but there was no fear on her face. But what the little fairy hates the most is when someone threatens her. So, please get some sleep. 20 minutes later. Somewhere deep in the mountains and forests, an explosion suddenly sounded. Then, the fire shot into the sky, lighting up most of the night. The local fire brigade immediately dispatched to the fire scene to put out the fire. At this time, various systems in the dark were also alarmed. After the fire ended, all personnel on duty in the institute, whether dead or alive, were able to correspond one by one in terms of number. However, there is only one person missing who is not on the list. The supernatural being who was recently recovered. FZX Top Secret, TSZTY0101. On March 15, 2018, the supernatural person codenamed Angel was initially determined to have singing hypnosis. It is expected that he will be arranged to the UnlimitedFlow Research Institute for Unified Management in 3 days. On March 18, 2018, a person with supernatural abilities codenamed Angel was taken away by relevant personnel from the Supernatural Gene Research Institute in the name of cooperating with genetic research. On April 8, 2018, Director Ye of the Supernatural Research Institute personally went to the Supernatural Gene Research Institute and tried to bring back Angel. However, the Supernatural Gene Research Institute claimed that there was no such person as Angel in the institute. On April 10, 2018, the Supernatural Gene Research Institute violated the Voluntary Research Code and attempted to forcibly extract the supernatural genes of the angels, which led to a riot by the angels. Using singing as a weapon, half of them were slaughtered overnight. Researchers at the institute called this incident the Wrath of the Angels. On April 11, 2018, the whereabouts of Angel disappeared. Because its abilities were too unexplainable, the Dark Order officials in the Celestial Empire were shocked and ordered all combat departments to recover Angel at all costs. Far Eastern Frontier. On the wasteland, several off-road vehicles were chasing a petite figure. From time to time in the off-road vehicle, someone would come out with a gun and shoot at the figures in front of them. I don't know how long the chase lasted. After the person in front could no longer run, 4 off-road vehicles surrounded the person. The person was dirty and had several holes in her clothes. Her original appearance could not be clearly seen, but she could still tell that she was a girl. Several tall and strong men got out of the car. Among them, there were some with yellow skin, some with black skin, and some with white skin. The aura around them seemed to be filled with blood. Is this the angel from China? It doesn't look very good. Is this the angel from China? It doesn't look very good. Her role is not simply to fight and kill, her role is not simply to fight and kill. A few big men talked about the girl without any scruples because she had an oriental face and could not understand foreign languages. Is it, among them, a white-skinned man became interested in the girl's abilities, then I'd like to see it, then I'd like to see it. Someone advised, don't mess around, lest there should be any accident, don't mess around, lest there be any accident. The white-skinned man walked over and kicked the girl directly. Hey, what's your ability? Come and show us. The girl lay on the ground and lowered her head. No one could clearly see her expression at the moment, and could only hear her slightly uneasy breathing. Seeing that the girl kept ignoring him, the big man raised the weapon in his hand angrily and pointed at the girl's head. Made. The girl reacted at this time. She raised her head and put a finger on her lips. You, step on the horse. The big man was just about to continue cursing, but the girl coughed twice, and the intermittent tune came out. Little rabbit, be good, open the door. If you don't open it, you can't open it, I won't open it, Mom is not back. Those who were still watching the show suddenly felt very sleepy and yawned one after another. Soon. 1, 2. All fell to the ground. In the end, only the white-skinned man who pointed his weapon at the girl was still standing there. The girl stood up slowly. She stood in front of the big man as if she were a child, without any threat. The girl stretched out a finger, put it against the big man's chest, and then pushed gently. The man fell down directly and closed his eyes without knowing when. The girl picked up the big man's weapon and studied it while singing children's songs. Boom! There was an explosion. Immediately afterwards. Bang! 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 After several gunshots came one after another, there was dead silence. After an unknown amount of time, the sound of an off-road vehicle engine starting was heard. The people in the car looked extremely excited, grabbed the steering wheel with both hands, and drove out crooked tire tracks on this vast wasteland. Several days passed. Passing by a station wagon, the owner discovered 3 off-road vehicles left here. When he parked the car and went to check, he found broken bones and blood stains on the ground next to the car, as well as some black weapons. The car owner was shocked and immediately drove away without daring to stay for long. FZX Top Secret, TSZTY0404. On August 2, 2018 the Angel was recovered and temporarily placed under the custody of the Irregular Research Institute. On August 5, 2018 the ability of Angels was prohibited from being used in public, and all illegal uses were prohibited. On August 10, 2018, Angel was banned from going abroad. Any activities across provinces and cities must be reported in advance and permission can be obtained before taking action. On October 1, 2018, the Institute of Disorders submitted a new test report, which clearly mentioned that Angel has a hidden antisocial personality and lacks a clear sense of right and wrong regarding violence, crime, etc. There is currently no effective treatment plan. On October 9, 2018, Angel was included in the highest level secret files and was also under strict guard. On October 31, 2018, the director of the Institute of Irregularity proposed a motion, "Don't anger the Angels." After multiple reviews, all members passed it.